Hello everyone, and welcome to the next edition of the Holland Land Office Museum's Artifact Video Series. My name is Ryan Duffy, and I'm the director of the museum. And this week we're going to talk about another one of businesses from Batavia's past that was well known in the area, but also around the world, and had several large commissions in places like New York City and elsewhere, but also had a significant impact on our local area, especially in Batavia, and employed hundreds of workers during its time from about 1900 on through the end of the 1930s, and also represented a high portion of the skilled craftsmen here in Batavia. And when it unfortunately had to close down, a lot of those jobs went elsewhere, and it actually hurt the city pretty significantly. So this week we're going to talk about the Batavia and New York Woodworking Company that operated out near Cedar Street and had a very large brick factory. So we're going to talk about the history and show you some artifacts and pictures that we have related to their time here in Batavia and some of the jobs that they completed. The Batavia and New York Woodworking Company actually got its start in 1892, but where the building was located out near Cedar Street at the corner of Beale Street and Elizabeth Street, there had actually been a plant there long before. Before it was the Batavia Machinery Company, and then the Batavia Sewing Machine Company, and the New York Lumber and Woodworking Company, which would be the predecessor to the Batavia and New York Woodworking Company. The building was reorganized in 1892, and J.N. Scratcher became the president, and C.H. Honeck was the vice president and general manager, and E.T. Squires was the superintendent. Honeck managed the business until it closed in 1939 and is generally remembered today as the man closely associated with the plant. The plant, as you saw in the picture, was comprised of a 3-story brick main building with an engine house, a warehouse, sheds, and drying kilns. And at its peak, the plant employed 350 skilled workmen. In its first 30 years, the company built up one of the most extensive modern facilities for making interior wood finish, and it developed a process for fireproofing wood that was not known elsewhere. In its early years, it also produced only articles ordered on contract to be made after designs were furnished by architects. Contractors sent designs in the form of architectural drawings, which the skilled workmen laid out and followed to each door, partition, and molding for a particular room in a particular building. The woodworking company made the interior woodwork for not only buildings in Genesee County, but also as far as New York City and other places. They did the paneling for the second floor of the county courthouse, and a lot of the gingerbread work that you saw on local homes here in Batavia. But we have pictures of some of their woodwork from the original Pennsylvania Hotel, Roosevelt Hotel, and Savoy Plaza Hotel, all in New York City, which were very extravagant hotels of their time. And they also did interiors for banks and business buildings across the country, though a lot of the work that was done in Batavia no longer exists due to a lot of those buildings being torn down. And one of their last contracts was with Yale University when they did the interior of the Sterling Library in 1931. They also branched out into other things. In 1919, they made wooden cases for Victrolas and other sound-playing machines. However, by the 1930s, they were suffering greatly from the Depression, and woodworking wasn't as important in the designing of buildings as a material, and things were going to plaster and other materials. And after a back order was completed in the early 1930s, business went down quickly, and by 1939, the operation ceased altogether. Well, I hope you enjoyed this edition of our Artifact video series and learned a little bit more about the Batavia and New York Woodworking Company and its impact in the local area, but also some of the extravagant jobs that they did elsewhere in the country. But be sure to check out our YouTube channel, Holland Land Office Museum, to see this video and all our other videos on our Artifact video series, as well as other videos that we have posted, including guest speaker series and concerts. But as always, the best way to learn more about what we have at the museum is to stop by and see us in person, and we'll be happy to share even more stories and other facts that aren't included in these short videos. So we hope you enjoy the video and check out all the rest of them, and we'll see you next week.